Okay, we're going to talk about getting in and out of the kennels safely. Number one priority is making sure that the dogs don't escape. And they're very quick, so that can actually happen pretty easily. If it does happen, it's not the end of the world. You just want to make sure that the dog gets rounded up as quickly as possible. If they're frightened, you don't want to suddenly grab for them. Yell loose dog so anyone in the area knows not to open doors, and then get a staff member if necessary. But to get in the kennels safely, there's a couple of different methods that I'm going to show you, and you'll use whichever one works best in the situation. You don't want to use your hand or your body to kind of shove the dog back in or to block them. That can create a situation where the dog feels threatened and they might be inclined to bite. So the three ways that we're going to show you today are distraction, weight, and using a slip lead. So for starters, you can use a food treat to toss in towards the back and distract the dog. Now, especially if it's a really quick dog, you want to throw several treats and make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to get in. You don't want to be hurrying so quickly that you trip and fall into the kennel. So for some dogs that are not food motivated, this might not be the best option. So we're going to see how this works with Miss Millie here. So I would throw the treat towards the back. She's more interested, she likes the treats, but she's kind of more interested in staying up here by me. So I'm probably going to move on to trying a different method because I want a little bit more time and space to get in there, and I want to show you guys the other options too. So our next option that we can use is working with the dog to teach them weight. We use a hand signal, flat palm towards them, and just the act of opening and closing the kennel as they move forward to teach them that we want them to wait. So anytime you're opening the gate, you want to make sure that there's no other gates open in the kennel area. Be aware of what's going on around you. And then show the dog a hand signal. You can start to open it a little bit. If they come forward, shut it. If they are holding back, good. Then you can step in and out of the kennel carefully. That was pretty easy with her. Most of the dogs are not going to be that easy, but that's a good example of what that might look like. If they're rushing up against you, trying to get out, that's probably not going to be your safest option. So then you'll probably want to go for the slip lead option. So I'm going to show you how that works. All of the dogs in their boxes should have a slip lead. Small dogs have small ones, large dogs have larger ones. And you can just make a loop, one that's kind of big enough to easily slip over their head. And then you're going to open the gate only wide enough just for your hand to get in. So it's not big enough for the dog to escape. It's just big enough for your hand to put the slip lead over them. And then because you're not getting out of the kennel with them just yet, you're going to hold the leash so they stay in the kennel. And then you step in with them. So this way, even if it's a dog that's a little bit squirrely or is not food motivated, this is a way that you can easily get in without them escaping. To get out of the kennel, you can do the same thing in reverse. Put the slip lead on the dog. To exit, you lift up this portion here. I'm holding the leash so that the dog stays in the kennel. Again, I shut it so that it's just only my arm that fits in here. And then I can remove it and shut the kennel safely, and the dog doesn't have a chance to escape. Keep in mind that exiting the kennel is generally going to be a little bit harder than getting in because the dogs like having you in there. So ask for help if you need it. If you get stuck in there, another volunteer can help distract or hand you treats or whatever you need. So one of these methods should work, and it'll get easier and easier the more you practice.